morning. You're tuning into WJOB AM 1230 on your radio dial, 104.7 on the FM. This is the City of East Chicago show. I'm Verlie Suggs. And with me this morning, I have Steve Segura. He is the Director of Multimedia for the City of East Chicago. Tia Caulley, she is the Director of the Housing Authority for the City of East Chicago. And her deputy is Benson. They'll be joining us. We'll be talking about the East Chicago Housing Authority, what's been going on as that Housing Authority is right now in the news regarding the Nicosia Senior Building. But first, we're going to go to Steve Segura with some of the happenings around the City of East Chicago.
Good morning, everyone, and I don't think my mic is on. Can you guys hear me? There we go. Test, test.
Okay.
There we go. We have a vaccine clinic happening right now at the Chicago Health Department, and that is at 100 West Chicago Avenue. Their hours of operation are Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 11:45 a.m., and then they take a break and resume at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Every second and fourth Saturday, they're also there from 9 a.m. to 11:30. So make sure you go visit them if you need to get a vaccine. You can call them at 391-8258 and visit the website at www.eastchicago.com for up-to-date information in case things change. And they have everything COVID related there also. And
so are they going to be offering that second booster there, or do you know?
Yeah, everything. They do everything there. Diane runs a smooth operation there. I got to give it to them because they have been really busting their butts.
Fantastic.
They're working hard. If you need a COVID test, the testing hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11:45, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Every second and fourth Saturday of the month is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. We have one last farmers market coming up on September 25th, and that will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the East Chicago Police Department. That's 2301 Columbus Drive, right there on the strip. We need you guys to come visit and support them, though, because they've been coming out quite often, and they're trying to make this happen. But guess what? It's all up to you guys to help them make it happen. I think we may have a food vendor there this time also.
Oh, great.
The East Chicago Police Department is still hiring, so if you're interested in becoming a police officer, just call 391-8312. They have lots of benefits, up to $30,000 in home assistance if you want to move to East Chicago. So there's a lot of things, but you can go on our website also for that information. And last but not least, the library is having an event called Night of Americas, celebrating Hispanic and Latino culture. That is on Wednesday, September 15th. They will have exhibits from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and a celebration from 5 to 7 p.m. Live entertainment, there'll be food, all kind of wonderful things happening.
Sounds great, Steve. Thanks for keeping us informed and reminding our listeners that all this information is available on the East Chicago's website.
Correct. And if you haven't gone to Guthrie, check it out. It looks totally brand new, and there's a lot more things coming to Guthrie. The buildings are coming down,
yes.
And you can talk about that too, right here. I mean, this is the beginning of September. They said that would never happen, and guess what? Mayor Copeland made it happen.
Oh, definitely. East Chicago is definitely always the city of progress and always on the move. We have Tia Caulley with us today. She's the Director of the Housing Authority. Tia, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in this role, and what it entails.
Good morning, Verlie and City of East Chicago. My name is Tia Caulley. I am the Executive Director of the Housing Authority. I've been there for 30 plus years. I multitask. I was also the South Bend Executive Director for over a year of last year. Now they have a new Executive Director. We do dual roles at the Housing Authority. My deputy director here is Benson as well, and he'll discuss himself. I've been with Housing Authority since I was 19 years old.
Really?
Yes.
So I would have to, if you were on the witness stand, I'd consider you an expert witness.
Yes. I left for approximately 2 years and went with the city when the previous mayor was there. And then I came back to the Housing Authority, and I've been with them ever since. I've been as the executive director for close to about 11 years, I would say maybe 12 years. And it's challenging and it's different every day. You never know what you're going to get. But
now, when you look at housing authorities, you're actually under the federal government. Are you under HUD?
Yes, we are under HUD. We get our fundings from HUD, and that's what we, besides the rents that we collect from the residents, that's how we operate. and do everything that the Housing Authority has done thus
Right.
far.
Now, Chris, first time meeting you, Chris Benson,
Morning.
the deputy. Good morning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role entails.
Well, my name is Chris Benson. I've been with the Housing Authority for 13 years now. My current role for about 14 months as a deputy. When I started in the county as a payables, and I was promoted there to capital funds and procurement, and then from there to director of finance, and from director of finance to my current role of deputy director.
Great. Now, you're originally from East Chicago.
No, I'm actually from Illinois, from Chicago.
Okay, great.
Born and raised, yeah.
Well, definitely welcome. Sounds like you already have your foothold there.
Oh yeah. I'm an East Chicago resident now for 8 years,
Great,
and I love it.
great.
I remember when he bought his house.
Oh, fantastic. Did you get some of those wonderful East Chicago incentives?
Yes, I sure did.
Fantastic. Great. So Tia, the Housing Authority has been in the news lately. We understand that there were some issues at the Nicosia building that required an immediate evacuation of the seniors and other residents that live there. Why don't you explain a little bit about what happened there?
Well, first of all, we had been going through this situation with the Nicosia building approximately for the last 3 years. We were in the process of trying to get our new development up and running. We had not only the COVID, but other finance issues that caused us a delay as far as the new construction. And we decided to try to work harder by trying to keep the building where it was at, trying to keep the residents stable. We started having other issues with the building. We had an engineer come in and analyze. The first engineer who had been with us, which was Forum Architects in South Bend, they had been our architect for a number of years. They dropped us. They said they didn't want to participate and take part of what was going on as far as the things that we thought was going wrong with the building. Then we understood what happened with Florida. With Florida, the building collapsing, we had column problems ourselves. We've had them fixed and worked on, patched on, which cost the Housing Authority lots of money numerous times. We've tried to go into details, trying to figure out what else we could do to settle and keep the building safe for the residents. When Forum did not want to be a part of it anymore, we had to do an emergency, get another architect firm come out. They came out, they started studying, looking over the project and the property. They went inside some of the walls and columns, and they saw that the concrete and the steel beams they're supposed to be like this. Now our beams are like this.
So they're buckling, so to speak.
And it's on the average of 70% of the beams buckling.
Oh my goodness.
So the engineer, when he saw the plan of having 90 days of removing the residents, he said that's too long. Anything that happened, he would not be responsible. He did not want to be a part of it. We need to go back to HUD, let them know that we need to get the residents out sooner than later. So we contacted HUD and we notified them, asking and requesting that we go ahead and get the residents out. Either way, we had to get them out. The staff, who did a tremendous job, decided we were calling hotels, trying to find somewhere for the residents to be able to stay until we can get this resolved with HUD, as far as some of the funding that we needed, as well as making sure that we were going to according to what HUD guidelines were, to make sure that everything was in its proper place, making sure that fair housing felt like we were doing the best that we could do for the residents and the citizens of
And
East Chicago.
accessibility, of course, right?
Absolutely. So with that being said, we went on and we went and told the residents about 2 weeks ago, you have 90 days. We went back probably like Monday and said, no, you have 24, 48 hours. We have to get you out of the building. With that going on, then we were trying to find out how could we get them there. It's hard to get elderly people that are on wheelchairs moved around. So what we had to do is purchase a couple of new vans, trying to make sure that everything was stable enough so we could get them to be mobile enough to make the residents in a comfortable place.
Right.
So as it turns, we are totally empty at the Nicosia building.
So all 94
All
residents?
94 are out of the building.
Thank goodness.
We are now working on finding them housing elsewhere. They will have tenant protection vouchers where it will allow them to go to 48 other states and any other place they would like to go.
Now, is this very similar, these vouchers, to what was used when the public housing complex had to be evacuated as well in
In West
Calumet?
Calumet.
Yes.
So they will, and they'll get funding and monies to help them start a new life. They'll get their security deposit back. They'll get the new security deposit moving forward. And right now they're receiving a food voucher of $231 a week to help the residents offset what they have. Monday we will have a briefing, so they'll have their vouchers in hand and they'll be able to start going elsewhere. We have approximately about 25 residents right now they have somewhere else to go.
Okay.
They're just waiting on the paperwork to be completed, and the landlord comes in and signs the papers and the units be inspected, and we have 25 that'll be out of the hotel.
Now, when we talk about 94 people, are we talking about 94 individual people? Are some of those like husband and wife,
Yeah.
full families that you'll be moving, not having to worry about an individual's, relocation for each person?
You have 94 units. Maybe only 1 or 2 are a married couple.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's 94 units, that's what we consider.
Okay. So now, as far as those who want to stay in East Chicago, what are the options going to be moving forward? And is there a plan to build more senior housing in the city?
As of right now, we're going back and forth with the developer, trying to get our 207 units to move forward. We were supposed to have broken ground. That's why the residents at the Nicosia building was still in place, hoping that we could do a transaction to be able to transfer them over instead of having them in a situation where we don't know who knows where they're going. Seniors are sensitive and they're vulnerable. So with that being said, we have to hold and make sure that no one's taking advantage of them. Extra cautious on some of the residents are on dialysis, some have health issues where we have to make sure that all their needs are met. As the city of East Chicago, Anthony Copeland would hang me if I didn't do what was best for all of the residents in East Chicago. And I know what he expects, and I know what my job is as far as the housing authority and what we have to do. We've been very diligent. Our staff has been working 12 hours a day since Friday, trying to make sure, even on Saturdays some of the residents have to get to dialysis. We are working with them, trying to make sure they get to dialysis, get to their doctor's appointments. Some of them need now even transportation for the grocery store. Adrian Santos, the township trustee, has volunteered to come in and take some of that burden off of us by transporting them to dialysis, because the city of East Chicago is not supposed to go out of the area. And before I burdened the mayor and asked him, we went and contacted we have an MOU with the township when Frank Marvan was there.
Right.
And so therefore we were able to communicate, network, and get this done in a timely fashion. So far it has worked. The residents are not complaining. It's probably a little bit more of the people from the outside that have more issues, but they're not.
I can't imagine what issues there would be, considering what happened in Seaside in Florida with all those residents that probably wish they had that 24, 48-hour notice to get out.
Yes.
You're actually allowing, they lost everything along with lives. You're actually allowing people to come back and get their property. They didn't have to take everything with them when they left.
No, one thing we asked them to take was their personal belongings and clothes. and we have been transporting them back and forth. Some of the ones that have found something, once they call our office, we have a relocation team. Once they call the office, the relocation team will set it up and allow them to go inside as long as they have their key, and they'll be able to go in their apartment and move everything else out.
How are you securing their belongings once they've left?
We have 24-hour policing, and today, about an hour from now, the building will be boarded up.
That's amazing. That is such a quick turnaround, considering where, you know,
We had no
cases.
choice.
That's amazing. Chris, what has your role been in supporting Tia in this effort?
Well, my current role in all this is considered like a project manager. So right now I'm working directly with the relocation team, making sure that all, like Tia said, that all of the tenants' needs are met. Actually, just more in the last couple months, I've been getting up, making sure that everyone's transported to dialysis, even driving them myself. So just make sure that the residents' needs are met. Once we have them all in the hotel, which we do now just working with them to see, and with their families, to see where they want to move to. We have some that want to move out of state, things of that nature. So now we just make the connection with those other housing authorities and other areas where they want to move to, and make sure that, that they're relocated safely.
Now, I noticed that Councilman Hill, his district has been very supportive of this effort as far as his residents, making sure that they are taken care of. We don't want to disclose any locations where these seniors have been moved to, but it seems like the Housing Authority, and under your leadership, Tia, has really moved in lightning speed to get this done.
Yes. The residents will never be homeless. We will always make sure that they have somewhere to go, just like we did with the West Calumet residents. They will get their security deposit to their new location. They will receive their security deposit back after they turn in the keys, because then that way we know officially that they're gone. And anything else, all the other amenities that they're entitled to. We actually, Chris, yesterday was working on putting the relocation plan on our web page, so anyone is welcome to look and see what the relocation plan is, as well as what the engineer company said about the Nicosia building. So we wanted to make sure that that was public, and then we received our letter from HUD Monday. They told us to move forward with it, get the people out of there, and that's what we did.
Now, that's amazing that you got such a quick turnaround from HUD, because, you know, usually when you're dealing with bureaucracy, sometimes things can take a while to take place, but you have been dealing with them for a number of years now.
Well, I've been dealing with HUD for a number of years, but Anthony Copeland has been dealing with them for a number of years, and for some reason, they certainly would not like to hear the mayor's response to his citizens of East Chicago being delayed and not getting, just like with West Calumet, as far as the tear down. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how long it was going to take, and it worried me to death. I didn't want a situation to happen with someone's child or someone to get hurt on the property. The mayor went to what was his name?
From the state.
The doctor that was over HUD.
Carson.
Dr. Carson. The mayor went to Dr. Carson and said, you better do something, and you all are not competent. And we went back and forth with that, and sure enough, we got the money and approved, and we tore down the development. And now, as it stands, we're looking at also a new development going right now, and hopefully by the end of this year in that place. So, I mean, one thing happened, but it turned out to be a blessing for the residents of City of East Chicago. Right now, the Housing Authority is approximately about 553 units less, because West Calumet was 346, and now we're losing 207. We don't know if they're going to tear it down or make us tear it down, or if we're going to actually be able to fix all the problems that are in place for us. But we'll know in probably a couple of months.
But one thing we know, Mayor Copeland is a fighter for his city.
Yes.
And he makes sure that the people who work for the city have that same heart for the city. And so, Tia, I mean, I've had you here on WJOB before, not just on the East Chicago show, and I know you're very dedicated to what you do. And you give 100%.
We will get it done.
I love my city.
Well, and I tell you, South Bend, right before I left, we relocated 100 and something, 100 plus people out of a mixed building, which was elderly and everything, family units. So we had to displace those people, but they were fortunate enough to have a voucher and they went on with their lives because the building, if it's being rained in, and right now at the Nicosia building, around 3 weeks ago, the small elevator broke down.
So, right, there's only one elevator working
There's only
now.
one elevator.
So that was another hazard for the residents there,
Well-
if it had been, you know, if that one went out.
Well, it was not only a hazard, but we were worried about what else could happen. But with the one elevator going down and us knowing that we were tentatively talking about relocating the residents, we got the bill back for $55,000 to fix the elevator, not to replace it.
Wow.
So it was just starting to cost a lot of money that we did not have in our regular funds, where we would have had to pull out of somewhere else. And we don't want the residents to suffer. I mean, the building's been raining. It's rained in the building. We've had other issues. We had the building rewired about 7-8 years ago, thinking that we could save some of the things. And it was one thing after another. So either we gonna go in and fix it all, or we're gonna have to demo the building.
Now, is there a planned location for a future senior building, and will it be a high-rise, or will it be sort of similar to what was built in the harbor?
It'll be similar to what's being built in the harbor. They can only now go so high, but we are looking at 207 units in the new properties. It's not just one building, it'll be more than one.
Well, you're going to be such an expert on relocations. Let's hope that Washington, D.C. doesn't try and tap you and steal you away from East Chicago.
They won't. But Chris is ready for my seat.
Is he really?
And believe it or not, he's the person that I chose to be my deputy, and he is the person that will most definitely fulfill the seat, and he will do very well at it. Mayor Anthony Copeland got a chance to meet him after my decision on who I had pictured to be a deputy, only because I was wearing so many hats and doing so many other things. I actually never wanted a deputy, but I made the right choice by having Chris, because believe it or not, I had a heel spur on my foot and I was barely able to walk, and I'd be like, Chris, go take care of this, go take care of that. And he was like, okay, I got you. We calling each other. So it's really, we have been a good team, and we both live here, so we care about where we live, and we want to be proud when people see us in the grocery store being able to answer and do things.
Right, that you've never backed down from a response.
We're not going to.
Exactly. We appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about Guthrie Street. That's a major project taking place in the city of East Chicago.
Yeah, we do not own the Guthrie Street. We managed it for the redevelopment for about 2 years, a couple of years. And when the mayor decided, it was a lot of same problems, infrastructure in the buildings, things that needed to be replaced. The buildings are turned backwards, so you have to come through the back to come through the front. He felt like it was a safety issue. Just overall, it was a lot of money that was going to have to be put into those properties, more than what it would have been worth to the city. And then now he wants to put new housing. Those properties are very old, just like the Nicosia, just like the Hunter. I mean, you look at all of our properties that are subsidized, they have been here 30, 40, 50 years. How long are they good for, and especially if you don't have the kind of money to put in them that's needed. I mean, when you have people that are renting, they don't always tell you everything that's going on with the properties right then and there. And then when you get inside of them, you find out that the water has been leaking and now it's going down in the lower unit. So it's time. I think that the people on Guthrie will be very ecstatic with the future of what Mayor Anthony Copeland has planned, actually on that side of town.
Now, will it be mixed-use housing, or will it be single-family housing, or a mix?
That's what he's looking at, as both.
Really?
Our new senior building, buildings, that's where we're looking to put them right off of Guthrie.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So when the Congress is, debating about these infrastructure bills, East Chicago's in the forefront already, looking into the future.
Correct. Hopefully, let's get it done.
Right, we need the collaboration of the entire city behind the mayor in moving these projects forward.
Absolutely.
It's not taking place anywhere else but here in the city of East Chicago.
And a lot of people look at us. A lot of people look at what we've gotten accomplished over the years as far as East Chicago, how it looks, how he makes a quick decision and he doesn't hold back. If it's going to benefit the city, he wants it. He has the funding to match, and he wants the dollars to go as far as they can.
We know he likes to stretch $1.
Well,
so I like when you said go as far as they can.
Well, I have a husband, and I tell my husband as well as the mayor, I say, you all are cheap. And the mayor, and my husband and the mayor, they laugh. They said, no, we're frugal.
I was gonna say.
So, and they have more money than myself, okay? And then I have this one here. He's gotten just like
he's just as frugal.
He's frugal too. So, hey, I tell you one thing, it's benefited the agency though, because just like Chris said before, he was the deputy, he was the finance director. So therefore, he would tell me, wait a minute, hold up, we need about 6 months, hold off, we need this other money to come in. So, and me, I'm like, okay, we need it now. He's like, no, we can't just yet. So I've gotten a good sense of responsibilities from 3 different men guiding me and telling me to hold off. We need to hold off until we can get it all right. And hopefully with the new senior building, the things that I've asked for, it will be right. It will be very much so right.
So just to be
It's
the
coming.
future.
And I see the plans, they look beautiful. It's definitely going to complement that corridor.
Yes.
I mean, if you've seen the new building they built right across from
Broadway.
Oh yes.
It's going to be kind of like that modern style.
Yes.
It's gonna
And
look
we
sharp.
are partnered with them. So, and that's a good thing. We were able to be a part of what they've done on that new corner. So hopefully the mayor will continue to let us be a part of the things that he would like to see when it comes to residential. That is our expertise, and then we can also always sign off on things like that, anything to help with tax credits, because as you know, HUD has gotten away from a lot of public housing.
Right.
They're not giving those kind of funds, so you have to be able to go and get funding and monies from various places to make sure that we can build and allow the residents of the city of East Chicago to be comfortable.
Now as you transition to this new plan from HUD, what's left in East Chicago as far as public housing?
We have scattered sites. We have the James Hunter building. We have Columbus Drive, Housing Authority. Right now, we have a non-for-profit tax credit. We own and manage a couple of other properties outside of public housing that has been very good to us.
Great.
Now, is that mentioned?
That's mentioned.
Okay. Sounds great.
I seen one of the houses they rehabbed, and they did an amazing job.
We flip them and we either put them back on the tax bill or we rent them out and help people until they're able to be a homeowner. Then we sell it off to them.
Great. Well, our time has come to an end. Of course, this has been the City of East Chicago show here on WJOB. I want to thank you, Tia Caulley, the Director of Housing for the City of East Chicago, and Chris Benson, her deputy, of course, and our Director of Multimedia, Steve Segura, and of course Ryan Lomax, always our producer here, and Tony Panic in the booth. We'll be back next month. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for our Veterans Views program. It's our award-winning veterans show.
Have a good weekend.